So, welcome to the show, Kyle Howie. Yes! We're so happy to have you on the show, Kyle. It's been a labor trying to get you on, man. You're a busy man.
I know it's crazy. Obviously, it's different now with no gigs happening and all that. But it's nice to eventually manage to get a wee spot on here.
Well, first of all, welcome to the Big Rab Show. But we have been fans of yours now for years. We seem to have been following your career now since, I don't know, a long time. For folks listening at home, do you want to give a bit of an introduction to yourself and your playing?
Yeah, well, I've been playing pipes now for about 18 years. Took me 6 months to go from my first lesson onto pipes and playing with the band, the Boys Brigade at the time. And since then, I'll try and keep it brief, but since then there's been a couple of Grade 1 bands. Red Hot Chili Pipers, I've been doing stuff for them for 9 years now. And been doing lots of teaching and stuff like that, lots of touring and gigging and folk band and Cayley band stuff as well that kind of creeps in. So I'm all over the place. As you said, it's been tricky to get a time put down just with everything that goes on all the time.
Yeah. You're an incredibly busy guy. And if anything, my first introduction to yourself actually and your playing was through the Spirit of Scotland pipe band and your involvement with them. How did you find that? It was an experiment, wasn't it? The whole thing.
Yeah, it was terrifying, really. Obviously, there was a couple of young guys in the band. David Shedden, he was in the pipe corps as well, and a couple of other young guys. But obviously, like the first practice I went to was a fairly quiet one. I think there was only 8 guys at that one, which was fine. That was a nice kind of way to break me in. Obviously, I'm looking across the room at gold medalists, and then there's me standing there with my Chili Piper pipes. So. I was honestly terrifying, but it was one experience, being able to kind of mix all these guys and speak to them about their career and all that. It was incredible, an incredible experience.
That's it. And I think you guys held your own, for only being together for such a short space of time. You've done really well.
Yeah, it was probably a bit surprised actually to Roddy and most of the other guys. So it was quite good. Yeah, a couple of placings in the top 6, which was great. Yeah, crazy. As you said, it was thrown together in a very short period of time. Like the first time, it was only a week that they had for the first time round.
Yeah.
And yeah, still a very short space of time to get things up and running and tunes learned and kind of styles kind of settling in and all that. It's crazy stuff. I don't know when that'll happen again or if anyone would want to do it again. Even out with the Spirit, it's such a crazy idea to bring so many people together. For one season, one pipe band season, when obviously there's guys like, anyone else in Grade 1 are practicing every single week. Even now they're all on Zoom practicing. It's crazy, the commitment and all that to it all is, it's wild. It's wild stuff.
Yeah. No, that's it. So, but Kyle, you're involved in all aspects of piping. Like you say, your involvement with pipe bands, obviously, being the competition at the top flight, but you're also involved in the trad scene, like you were saying. If anything, I'm a huge fan of Heron Valley, and whenever you were playing with those guys, it was like a match made in heaven.
I loved it. It was a brilliant year. It wasn't even a full year, actually. It was like 10 months or something like that. But I think it was the first trip with them was the American tour last year. That was where I had the daily vlogs and all that going up. I vlog almost every day for 3 weeks, as well as all the gigs. It was hard work, but what a trip. It was probably my favourite tour that I've ever kind of went away with a band. I've done loads of all the Chili tours now, but it was so much fun. Very relaxing, and obviously playing all the trad tunes with epic guitar and piano and all that. It was brilliant, a brilliant trip. Yeah,
that's it. So if anything, that kind of segues me into your YouTube thing, because that's how I followed the tour, was through your daily vlogs. I'm a huge fan of your channel, man. Do you want to tell us about your YouTube channel?
Yeah, well, I obviously I like watching YouTube videos myself and follow a lot of kind of big vloggers on there and all that. Casey Neistat, all these people. Yeah. Anyone who knows YouTube will know all these guys. And I've always kind of been interested with the camera stuff and all that myself. And it was a couple of years ago, I think it was a couple of years ago now, that I finally put a wee bit of money into a decent camera, and a decent laptop to edit things off of and all that. And it was a slow start. It took like 5 months for me to eventually do anything with the camera. It was just too big to suss it out. And then, so the YouTube vlog thing, I thought it was a good challenge, obviously being away with Heron Valley. it was kind of late nights and all. It was hard going. The gig would finish at like 11 o'clock or whatever, 10:30 even, and then there's obviously the packing down of all the gear and getting out of the place. So we weren't back to hotels by like midnight or later most nights. And
Yeah.
obviously I had the videos edited to go live the next morning. So I spent most nights awake at the end of the bed on the laptop editing the video from that day to like 3 or 4 in the morning and up at 7 or 8 to drive to the next gig. So I mean, I nearly killed myself during the tour. I had to miss a gig because I'd made myself so ill with all the work. So
Uh,
yeah, it was crazy stuff. But yeah,
if anything, though, those videos are so valuable. But what I loved about them was it showed the grittiness of it, that it's not
yeah,
all glamour. It's not all on the stage with the lights. Like you guys going into an Airbnb and finding this place is a bit weird. That,
yeah,
it was all of that. And as you say, the loading of the gear, like all of that's on those videos. So yeah, I have to stress, if anyone is
yeah.
interested, go and have a watch at Kyle's channel. Do you want to give it a plug, mate? What are the
Yeah,
details?
yeah, well, it must be youtube.com/Kyle Howie. I'm pretty sure is the youtube.com/C/Kyle Howie. Should take you right to the chat. It's all on my Facebook pages and everywhere else. It's all linked
That's it.
all over the internet.
Indeed, yeah. But you also, as well as your time with Heron Valley, you also detail your time with the Chili's. And you're all over the place with the Red Hot Chilies and playing in some really quite interesting gigs, from huge, big venues to little, small, intimate ones. So with your time with the Chili's, is there any of your, I don't know, time with them that you would say is particularly memorable?
Oof. Most of the gigs now are actually quite memorable for all their own reasons. Just for all the characters that float about and all. It's always a brilliant laugh, but memorable things. I think the first gig that I played with them, which was almost 9 years ago to the day, almost, was in Austria. And with the Chili's, and anyone who's new at the Chili's, you're thrown into the deep end. There's no music sent to you to learn. You get sent the tracks, the actual tracks, and then you
Yeah.
get taught all the dance moves just before the gig. So it's terrifying. And I remember walking onto the stage in Austria, following Craig Monroe. I walked on behind Craig Monroe, and I remember thinking at the time, "Oh my God, this is nuts! This is actually about to happen." So yeah, I mean, obviously the crazy gigs. There's been New York Grand Central Station for
Oh,
little tiny
wow.
private parties and all that, and touring all over the place, like America, Canada, most of Europe. China. I went to China for 6 weeks with the band.
Wow.
We had Rab Matheson join us for a couple and a half weeks of the tours. It was just insane. Some of the places and the gigs have just been wild.
That's it. As you said, touring all over the place. And
Yeah, literally, yeah, it's
yeah,
crazy.
if anything, then, as bagpipers will mostly be listening to this show, what's it like traveling with a set of pipes? Because obviously, climate has such a dramatic effect on the instrument.
Yeah.
Do you find that you're
Uh,
struggling with that?
a wee bit, yeah. I mean, I've always played sheepskin as well, so that makes it a little bit harder for me to
Yeah.
keep my pipes solid in a kind of high altitude place or a very hot country.
Hmm.
And I mean, maybe not a plug, but that tone protector, he got sent some by Yuri
Yeah.
Chisholm. That's an absolute game changer if we're in America or anywhere with a climate that isn't Scotland, basically. These things are brilliant. The pipes are so solid with them now. And obviously, because the gigs are long, they're like an hour and a half worth of playing
Hmm.
each night.
Yeah.
So the pipes take a beating.
Well, that's it too.
Yeah,
Like, I'm sure as you start the night, I think we spoke to the Chili's before at their Belfast gig, which was an arena gig, and they say
yeah,
they actually tune their pipes flat at the start of the gig because they know they're going to go up there.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
that the case for you guys? And whenever you
Yeah, I
play, yeah.
mean, yeah. The first solo I think of the night, I usually get landed with loads of the solos as well. And the first one of the night is usually Thunderstruck. So you need to kind of plan, like I need to plan, like if I set my pipes to this pitch, like a little bit flatter or a wee bit sharper if I know it's going to be roasting in the venue. I need to think, well, I'll have already played like 3 full sets before I'm playing by myself. And obviously with a Chili gig, you can't just put the high A and tune your drones. You just need to play and not worry
Yeah.
about it. So that is tricky. There's so many things to think about with bagpipes. I mean, obviously every piper knows that anyway, but sticking a live performance with no opportunity to tune for an hour and a half. That's an extra bit of pressure on us as well.
Certainly it is. It's a long stretch, actually. So I'm sure there is times when the pipers leave the stage, and I can just have it in my head. I don't know if this happens, but as soon as you guys go stage right, stage left, or whatever, and we don't see you, I just picture you all back there tuning like crazy. Is that what happens?
I go off stage and I try and tune my pipes like as soon as I can, because then they're as close to being set to the climate that we were just playing on stage. So I'll try and walk off stage and quickly get to a green room and give them a really quick tune, and then put them down and just leave them, and I'll go on to the second half without touching my drones. Just most of them they'll be maybe a wee bit flat sounding, but also by the third or fourth set in the heat,
they come back up again.
Right back, yeah, and they're fine again for any other solos that you might have to be chucked into.
Indeed. But Kyle, as well as your bagpiping and your involvement with the Chili's, you're also a multi-instrumentalist, if you don't mind me saying, and quite an incredible whistle player. Do you find the two worlds kind of intertwined between the whistle playing and bagpiping?
Absolutely. I mean, it's almost a must actually for pipers. Let's say in Scotland, that's where it would mostly be the case. But like for ceilidh gigs, a lot of my gigs that I do are bagpipes and whistle, and actually it's more whistle that I play during the night because we're playing with fiddle players. So we need to have tunes that go beyond the bagpipe scale that can fit in well with them. Because obviously, if we limit fiddle players to 9 notes, and that's kind of, they'll be a bit upset. So the whistle it's a back to front bagpipe essentially. Your low A on a whistle is an E in fingering almost on the practice chanter. So you're almost thinking kind of upside down with your head. And obviously the embellishments are totally different in that you only can play a G grace note strike, and a G grace note you use your tongue for. So there's lots of stuff. Actually, they're very, very similar and they work so well together, but they are totally different instruments to each other, which makes it a lot more exciting as well for everyone involved.
Well, that's it indeed. So, Kyle, I know at the moment, actually, I have been using your YouTube channel as a practice tool, if you don't mind me saying. I'm learning how to pipe at the moment. Like Andrew Shilliday is teaching me, and currently, one of the tunes I'm learning, actually, I have the sheet music somewhere, Dream Valley. I'm learning that at the moment, and I was, in fact, just before this interview, I was playing along with your video. Yeah. But you know what's fun about it is I'm just learning the tunes, but you have the harmonies there as well. Yeah.
I mean, these videos, it was kind of an accident how they all kind of happened, and now also there's so many of them now. But that was the Athol Highlanders video that I done. It was the first video that I put up on my Facebook page, I think, and I done really well. And one guy on the YouTube channel asked, "Where's the sheet music?" And I thought, actually, I didn't even think that far ahead. So I obviously sent the link to the guy, and I thought, actually, I'll just make this available on my Facebook page. And there's like 300 people downloaded it in like the first couple of days. So I thought I should do this for more tunes if people like what's going on. So they get the melody and they get the harmonies and all that as well. I'm handing them out alongside the music. So and also they're going into these PDF packs as well. So I love writing harmonies. And I remember the first time I started kind of messing about with harmonies was, I mean, what I would do, I'd get my practice chanter and I'd play Roundtree into my phone, and then I'd press play and play along with myself and play the harmony and let the phone play the first. And I thought that's how I kind of got into the harmony writing thing. So it's so much better now that I've got a Blair chanter and a phone that has all the software there and does all the hard work for me.
So, folks, if you haven't checked that out, and they are going to look at Kyle's channel, because, well, let's face it, you have to. There's so much content there for, complete beginners, but also for advanced players too. I think one of your most popular videos actually is how to play Thunderstruck.
Yes, that's right. I think it's over 11,000 views now. I kind of forgot about it. I mean, a lot of these videos, there's some tunes that I really like. Like I keep listening back to my Press for Time thing that I put up not that long ago.
It's a cracker.
But there are a lot of the videos that I put up. I try my best not to watch them. I try and do something else, obviously, with my time. But that Thunderstruck video, 11,000 views. I honestly forgot about it, and I went back because I remember it done really well the first time round and got like 4,000 views in the first kind of couple of weeks or whatever. And I thought, oh, that's quite good. And then didn't really think about it again until I started uploading again just a couple of months ago and saw that it was doing extra well. I thought, well, this is quite something now.
There you go. Yeah. So no, well, aside from the YouTube channel and all of your work with that, you're also teaching. I don't know where you find the time.
Either did I. Yeah.
So yeah, you're teaching online lessons at the moment. Is that right?
Yeah. Do you know, it was actually something I was very skeptical about. Because obviously Skype's been around for a long time, and I never wanted to teach online. I thought that's not for me. I can't see how this could benefit anyone really, because you want to be there in person to like really show and demonstrate things, or even just tune their pipes and move bits of tape on their chanter and say, oh, if you do this, then that means this, blah, blah, blah. But these Zoom lessons, obviously, because we can't teach in person, I thought I'll just need to try it. And thankfully, it was one of my music friends' younger brothers who was the first person to sign up. So I thought, that's good. I know the person, and that could kind of ease me into it, possibly. And we had the first lesson. I thought, this is amazing. I mean, the only thing we're really missing is me tuning their pipes. So now I just need to explain over the internet. If you just move your drone up a little bit now, or whatever, that should get your antenna out of tune more. So it's a little bit harder, obviously, with that. But in terms of teaching and learning tunes and even finger work, because I can still hear if they're playing an E grace note instead of a G grace note, you can still progress with it. So that's the biggest kind of thing that's come out of lockdown, is that I can teach online and still see progression from the pupils, which is also the most important thing. Yeah.
It's interesting, actually. You know, I didn't think that the online thing would ever work, and because Andrew and myself, we can't meet in person now. Online's the only option, and as you say, the tuning thing is the only thing we can't do. Andrew's tried explaining it to me. No, just sharpen that a wee bit. Sharpen it. Does that go up or down or? Yeah, I'm not getting it, but you know, I will get there eventually. So Kyle, then for anyone who's interested in getting in contact with you, to check out your YouTube, your social media, all of it, where do people go to find this?
As you say, just Facebook's great. Facebook's fast and easy, and everyone's on it. The YouTube, you can obviously get in touch with that. And then there's also my website, obviously, where all the sheet music is. There's a lot of opportunities where you could send in a wee email or whatever to the website. And sort things out. I think there's only been a couple of people's that have gone straight to the website and they've booked. Usually, obviously, people get in touch with you and say, oh, you're free for lessons and how much are you, blah, 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 all that stuff. But it's been great with the website because obviously people can pay with their cards and it's just so easy now. I've had a couple of people that have gone straight to the website, booked their 4 lessons in a block, and then just got in touch to say, are we good on this day? And I've been like, yes, let's do it. And then they've all turned out great. I've got a brilliant group of pupils now who are all working really hard, which is very good to see.
Excellent stuff. So it's kylehowie.co.uk, isn't that right?
Yeah,
for the website.
Yeah.
There you go. A shameless plug, but why not? Yeah.
I know.
So, Kyle, obviously, a lot of people listening right now would be massive fans of yourself, the Chili's, and all of that. And we've got some actual listener questions here. If you don't mind, I'll just go through some of them.
Yes, yeah.
Well, number one on the list is, are you an ice hockey fan? I don't know where that came from.
Well, kind of. With the Herne Valley trip last year, we all had to pick a team.
Yes.
The Keith, the keyboard player, he's a massive fan. New York Rangers is his team. But obviously, if I had to pick a team, it would be the Toronto Maple Leafs.
There you go.
That would have to be the team. I still need to buy a T-shirt or a hat off their website. So maybe for the next interview, I'll be in all the regalia.
You'll have all the gear. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Also, someone who is struggling with learning how to play bagpipes for the first time, and they're still on what is this? Scale navigation is what I have written down here. Have you any tips and stuff for beginners who are having difficulty then?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously the usual tips and kind of hints, like make sure you're practicing, and it is the case, but if you're getting stressed out or frustrated with something, just put the chanter down and come back to it later. Finger work is a big thing for me and my pupils. I think I was quite lucky to get really good tuition when I was young, and that kind of stopped any bad habits from forming with me, which obviously helped me to progress faster. So I try and put that into my teaching. So finger work, obviously straight fingers and how you play things, and kind of speed. It's more about the speeds. and the stress. If you're getting stressed, just relax, because there really isn't a rush, especially nowadays when there's nothing to really perform at in public. Just take your time and don't worry about it, because if you've got a good teacher, then you shouldn't have any bother with moving on to the next part of learning with your grace notes or whatever.
There you go. Not that's sound advice there, I think, definitely. Slow and sure wins the race, Kyle.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And other than that, we do have some big Rab Show staples, actually, that we ask every guest who comes on. First of all, Kyle, what's your favourite cheese?
It would have to be double Gloucester. That's been my lockdown cheese of choice.
I haven't tried that now.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's like a red Leicester type deal. It melts really well. Would be the slogan for that, I think.
Double Gloucester. I like the sound of that. That sounds quite cool, actually. Also, yellow flashes on pipe band uniform. Yes or no?
Oh, it's a definite no from me, I think.
I would have to agree. Yeah, sometimes you could see some horror stories, but yeah, not for me either. Pineapple on a pizza. Yes or no?
I would probably say no to that one as well, although I've never tried it. But I can't imagine it being very good.
No, that's it. Yeah, that's it. It's not for me either, I'm afraid. Yeah. Also, it's a question that we ask everyone who comes on, and we have to ask it. What has been your most embarrassing moment so far in piping and drumming?
There's also quite a few that I could speak about.
Maybe some not broadcastable, I'm sure, but
I played the Basil Tattoo a few years ago, and obviously lots of partying involved after each performance. And I remember getting chucked in a bin. I got thrown into a massive bin once, which was awful. And I fell asleep on a zebra crossing whilst trying to get back to the hotel, which was also not ideal. I think the best thing, most embarrassing thing didn't happen to me personally, but I was very much a part of it, which was it was Hogmanay 2012 with the Chili Pipers. And we were playing, it was probably still one of the kind of the flashiest gigs I've ever played. It was at the Casino de Monte Carlo in Monaco.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a big gig, and we were booked to play for an hour in the run-up to the bells and obviously play Auld Lang Syne at midnight. Yeah. And so obviously Monaco, it was jumping. The place was rammed, the whole square, with lots of very nice bottles of champagne. And Willie Armstrong thought it was a good idea to do a test of the countdown 10 minutes before the bells. And obviously a lot of these people were too drunk and maybe not paying that much attention to what Willie was saying, and obviously didn't realise. So he starts the countdown. 10.
Oh, no.
9. At 10 minutes, and the organisers at the side say, no, don't stop. And everyone's on stage like frozen, like, no, is this happening? Is this really happening? And then he gets all the way to 0 and goes like, hey, and like that, and everyone goes, yes, and starts popping their Magnum champagnes and all that. And the organisers like, oh, and honestly, you could just imagine the scene. So
that's epic.
That's absolutely up there.
Oh, next time I see Willie, I'm going to have to tackle him about that. That's hilarious.
Every now and again we get him with it. It's brilliant. What a story, man.
I think, what's the word they use now? Cringe. I think that's what.
Yeah. Probably more cringe.
That's just what that is. Yeah. Oh, amazing. So, Kyle, again, man, thank you for coming on the show. It's been a labour of love to get you on, but it's awesome to chat to you. Yeah.
Thanks very much for having us on as well. Yeah.
No problem at all. And we wish you every success, actually, with all of your playing, your YouTube, your teaching. There's so much going on. Keep us all informed, mate. You know, what's happening.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely.
Indeed. Well, we'll hopefully chat to you again sometime in the future, Kyle. But until then, we'll see you again. All the best.